Chapter 5. However, despite all the laughter, there was something more serious that they soon learned about. Nearly every morning, brown papery things kept on arriving in the letterbox. They naively assumed that these were leaves blown through by a gust of wind, but they actually turned out to be things called bills that required paying with the other papery stuff known as money. And the money they'd found in the house was running out. Well, what happens if we don't pay these silly bills? Asked Mrs. Bold, after looking in her purse and finding it empty. Nothing much, said Mr. Bold cheerfully. We saw the programme about it on the telly thing. For some reason they send some babies around. I can't think why. Babies? Questioned Mrs. Bold. So they said. Mrs. Bold looked thoughtful for a moment. Oh, they've got it wrong, Fred. I remember now. It was bailiffs, not babies, silly. What's a bailiff? A debt collector. Much less pleasant than a baby, I think you'll find. If you can't pay your bills, the bailiffs come round and take items of value away from your home. Yikes, said Fred. We'd better get hold of some more money, quick, I think, said Mrs. Bold soberly. Where does a fish shop keep its money? In a riverbank. Ah. Stop it, Fred. This is serious, said Mrs. Bold, trying not to laugh. Knock, knock. Who's there? Cash. Cash who? I knew you were a nut. Oh, Cashew, I get it. Laughing made the Bolds feel better, but it didn't really help matters. After some investigation, Mrs. Bold came up with a solution one morning. It seems that humans go to work. They have things called jobs. They get paid with money, and then they can pay their bills and buy food and clothes and everything else. Really? Said Fred. I wonder why everyone seems to rush about every morning as if they were in a hurry. They're on their way to work, pointed out Mrs. Bold. So how do we get one of these jobs? Can we buy one? No, don't be silly, said Mrs. Bold. We've seen some advertised in the back of the Teddington Gazette. Let's have a look. Job vacancies. There were lots of jobs Mr. and Mrs. Bold fancies doing. Dental receptionist. We've got lovely teeth, haven't we, said Mr. Bold enthusiastically. Yes, dear, we have. I don't think we'd want to boast about them, do you? Ah, no, you're right. Might give us away, eh? Agreed. Retail assistant? Oh, yes. We know all about tails. We could do that. How may I assist you with your tail, sir? Needs a good brush, does it? Leave it to me, sir. When can we start? No, Fred. It says it means working in a shop. Retail means selling things. And it's a posh clothes shop. She looked her husband up and down. I don't think we'd be right for that somehow. We've only just got the hang of clothes ourselves. She returned to the list. Waiting staff? Yep. Fred nodded. I can wait. Did it for hours waiting for prey in the wild. Watch. And he stood motionless for several seconds. See, I'm waiting patiently. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Why anyone would want to pay me for waiting around. There's a shot of him waiting. I can't imagine. I'm very good at it. Mrs. Bold shook her head. Waiting means waiting on tables in a restaurant. You can't do that. You'd be a dreadful waiter. You'd lick their plates. And so would I, to be honest. Couldn't resist. There were lots of jobs on offer, but nothing the Bolds could seriously imagine themselves doing. I've realised that the trick with jobs, said Mr. Bold, when they were almost at the end of the list, is to do something you're good at. So, what am I good at? Said Mrs. Bold. Well, let me think. There must be something. Well, back in Africa, you were very good at chasing and catching antelope. There we have it, said Mr. Bold, jumping to his feet. Are there any jobs like that? Is there a professional antelope chaser required? Mrs. Bold shook her head. No, Fred, nothing like that at all, I'm afraid. Not in Teddington. Good at scratching fleas. Any flea scratchers needed? Mrs. Bold checked the list again. Nope, afraid not. They both stared gloomily at the newspaper, wondering what they would do. Chapter 6, I'm sure we'll find out. We'll read that tomorrow.